In life, we inevitably encounter individuals who can negatively impact our mental well-being and personal growth. Stoic philosophy, with its emphasis on cultivating wisdom and controlling emotions, advises us to be discerning about the relationships we engage in. Today, we will explore 6 types of individuals you should either avoid or handle wisely to safeguard your peace of mind and emotional health. We all have that one friend, family member, or colleague who seems to find fault in everything. The weather's too hot, work's too stressful, and even a meal at a renowned restaurant isn't up to their standard. Day in and day out, their endless stream of complaints fills the air, casting a shadow over everything good and pure in life. Being around such negativity can take a toll on your mental well-being, slowly chipping away at peace of mind. But what if we looked at this from another angle? What if, instead of letting their gripes wear us down, we took a step back and saw the situation for what it truly is? Stoics, a group of ancient philosophers known for their profound wisdom, suggest that we shift our focus from the problem to the solution. They believed in the power of perception and that our response to life's challenges is what truly defines us. So, the next time you find yourself caught in the web of someone else's negativity, remember this: you have the power to steer the conversation. You have the power to distance yourself, not physically, but mentally and emotionally. Let their words pass by like a breeze, acknowledged but not absorbed. Instead of engaging with their complaints, gently guide the conversation towards something positive, constructive. Ask them what they think could improve the situation, or how they would solve the problem. This not only shifts the energy, but also encourages them to think in terms of solution rather than problem. In the end, it's not about changing the complainer, because let's face it, that's a mountain few of us can climb. It's about protecting your own peace, maintaining your own sense of balance, and not letting someone else's negativity pull you into the abyss. Take a deep breath, offer a kind smile, and remember, the power lies within you. We've all encountered them. The negative critics, those who seem to cast doubt on every effort, every idea, every dream. They might be close to us, friends, family, even mentors. Their words often lack the warmth of constructive feedback. Instead, they chill us with a harsh wind of doubt. When you stand before them, sharing your aspiration, you might feel your confidence waver as their criticisms cut through the air like a knife. Their negativity, whether they intend it or not, make you question yourself, your abilities, your worth. But what if we could change the dynamic? What if instead of letting their words wound us, we invited them to be part of the solution? Next time you find yourself facing a negative critic, try something different. Instead of simply laying out your plan, ask for their advice. When you shift from presenting a fixed idea to seeking guidance, you subtly change the tone of the conversation. You invite them to contribute, rather than just critique. This approach doesn't just soften the blow, it often transforms their negativity into something more constructive. By asking for their input, you encourage them to think alongside you, rather than against you. You might say, "I see your point. How do you think we could make this better?" This question, this simple invitation, can turn a critic into a collaborator. Challenges them to step out of the role of naysayer and into the role of problem solver. Of course, not every critic will rise to the occasion. But remember this: hold the power in the conversation. By steering it towards solutions, you maintain control over your own emotions, your own path. You don't have to accept their negativity as the final word. Take their critique, examine it, and if you find a kernel of truth, use it to improve. If not, let it fall away like leaves in the wind. In the end, it's not about silencing the critic, but about protecting your spirit, nurturing your dreams, and moving forward with strength and clarity. You are the architect of your destiny, and no amount of negative criticism can take that away from you. Breathe deep, stand tall, and keep your vision clear. Have you ever encountered someone who perpetually sees themselves as a victim? Someone who, no matter the situation, constantly attributes their struggles and failures to external forces, to a cruel fate or a harsh world. Their life unfolds as a tragic narrative, with them cast as the central character, helpless and besieged. These individuals, they weave their tales with such conviction, painting themselves as the perennial victim of life's injustice. Their stories are filled with hardship, but they often fail to see the role they play in their own suffering. Instead, they place the blame on circumstances, on others, everything but themselves. It's not uncommon for those around them to feel the weight of this narrative, to be drawn into their story of woe, and to feel compelled to take on responsibilities that are not theirs to bear. You might find yourself trying to support them, to rescue them from their self-imposed misery. The truth is, the only way to help someone who views themselves as a victim is not through rescue, through boundary. The Stoics advise us to establish firm boundaries while still maintaining compassion. Offer kindness without assuming the role of savior. When faced with someone who consistently sees themselves as a victim, start by setting clear limits. It's essential to recognize where your responsibility ends and where theirs begins. This doesn't mean you should be unkind or dismissive. Instead, approach the situation with empathy, while standing firm in your own space. Imagine a conversation where this person unfolds yet another tragic episode of their life. As they recount their grievances, listen with patience, but remain aware of the boundaries between their struggles and your own emotional well-being. Offer your understanding. Do not let their narrative become your burden. You might say, "I hear your pain, and I understand that you're going through a tough time, but I'm not able to take on the responsibility for your situation. I can support you by listening and by offering encouragement, but ultimately, you're the one who must navigate these challenges." This approach maintains your compassion while also upholding your own mental health. It prevents you from becoming entangled in their victimhood, and instead allows you to be a supportive friend without losing yourself in their trials. Sometimes, it's helpful to gently encourage them to explore solutions on their own. Rather than solving their problems for them, guide them toward finding their own answers. Could ask questions like, "What steps have you considered taking to address this issue?" Or, "How do you think you could change your approach to this problem?" By encouraging self-reliance, you empower them to break free from the cycle of victimhood. They begin to see that they have the power to change their circumstances, rather than remaining trapped in a narrative of helplessness. However, be prepared for resistance. Those who see themselves as victims may resist to any suggestion that requires them to take action. They might cling to their story, finding comfort in the familiar role of the victim. In these moments, your role is not to argue, but to gently reinforce your boundary. Let them know that while you care, you cannot carry their burden. It's also important to recognize that this pattern of victimhood may not change overnight. Breaking free from a victim mentality requires self-awareness and a willingness to take responsibility. It's a process, and one that they must undertake themselves. Your role as a compassionate friend or colleague is to be supportive but not enmeshed. Show empathy, but do not lose sight of your own needs and limits. Maintain your boundaries while offering a listening ear, kind word, and encouragement for their growth. Remember, you can be a source of support without sacrificing your own well-being. By practicing this balance, you not only help them navigate their challenges, but also protect your own emotional health. In the end, it's about fostering a relationship built on mutual respect and understanding, where boundaries are honored and both parties can thrive. Your kindness, coupled with a firm stance on your own limits, can help them move beyond their victim narrative. We're at a place of empowerment and self-determination. This approach of blending compassion with clear boundaries allows for a supportive relationship without falling into the trap of becoming a rescuer. It encourages growth, both for the individual who sees themselves as a victim and for you as a friend, ensuring that everyone remains empowered and healthy. Have you ever encountered someone who exudes positivity so fervently that it becomes almost suffocating? These individuals, who insist on seeing the bright side of everything, no matter how bleak or challenging the situation might be, can sometimes be more harmful than helpful. They push away negative emotions and demand that you adopt a cheerful facade, no matter what you're truly feeling. Their mantra is simple: just stay positive. Yet this approach often overlooks the complexities of real-life challenges. It's as though they believe that a relentless positivity can somehow erase the difficulties we face. Imagine a conversation where you're sharing a struggle, a moment of vulnerability. Instead of receiving empathy or understanding, you're met with a barrage of cheerful cliches. It'll all work out. Just think positive, or look on the bright side. It's not that they mean any harm, but their well-intentioned advice can feel dismissive. When someone is so adamant about pushing away negative emotions, they ignore the validity and necessity of those emotions. Life isn't always about silver linings. Sometimes it's about grappling with shadows and acknowledging the pain, fear, the sadness that comes with them. To navigate a relationship with someone who embodies toxic positivity, try to gently bring them into a more balanced discussion. Encourage a dialogue that embraces both light and darkness. Share your feelings openly and invite them to explore the full spectrum of human experience with you. You might start by saying, "I appreciate your optimism, but right now, I need to talk about what's really going on. It's okay to feel sad or frustrated, and I think it's important to acknowledge those feelings." By framing the conversation this way, you acknowledge their positive intent, while gently steering the dialogue toward a more nuanced understanding. Explain to them that emotions are not just black or white, they're shades of gray. Just as light and shadow coexist, so do positive and negative emotion. It's crucial to recognize and accept all aspects of our emotional landscape, not just the ones that make us feel good. Encourage them to explore how both types of emotions can coexist. and how accepting the full range of human feelings can actually lead to deeper, more authentic connection. You could say, it's not about abandoning positivity, but about embracing the whole range of human experience. Sometimes, feeling sadness or frustration doesn't negate our ability to be hopeful or optimistic. Help them understand that it's okay to sit with discomfort, to allow for the complexities of life. Embracing the full spectrum of emotions, including the difficult ones, doesn't mean we lose hope or joy. Instead, it means we're being honest with ourselves and with each other. In your conversations, offer examples from your own life where confronting negative emotions led to growth or clarity. Show them that, by accepting and processing difficult feelings, you've been able to find a more authentic sense of positivity. It's important to remember that changing someone's perspective on toxic positivity might not happen overnight. It's a gradual process. It requires patience and understanding. Continue to model the balance you're advocating by integrating both light and shadow into your own emotional landscape. Also, be prepared for some resistance. Toxic positivity can be deeply ingrained, and challenging it may be met with defensiveness. Approach these conversations with empathy, recognizing that their desire to stay positive often stems from a place of genuine concern and care. Reinforce that embracing the full range of emotions, including the negative one, is not about dwelling in negativity. It's about acknowledging and processing those feelings so that we can move forward with a more balanced perspective. In the end, it's about fostering a relationship where both parties can engage in a meaningful, authentic way. By acknowledging and accepting the complexity of human emotions, you create a space where both positivity and negativity can coexist, leading to deeper understanding and connection. So, when faced with toxic positivity, approach it with patience and compassion. Encourage a more balanced view of emotion, and help them understand that true positivity involves embracing all aspects of our emotional experience, not just the shiny, feel-good part. This approach not only allows for a richer understanding of emotions, but also fosters a healthier and more supportive relationship. In the intricate web of human interactions, there exists a subset of individuals who are master manipulators. These are the people who weave their influence into the fabric of your emotions and decisions, skillfully steering you toward their own ends. They can make you feel compelled to act in ways that make you uncomfortable. Yet they do so in such a way that refusing feels nearly impossible. Understanding how to navigate relationships with manipulators requires a deep awareness of their tactics and an even deeper commitment maintaining your own boundaries. Today, we'll explore the nature of manipulative behavior and equip you with strategies to manage these challenging interactions with grace and assertiveness. Recognizing manipulative behavior. Manipulators are adept at exploiting your emotions and vulnerability. They might employ a variety of strategies to control or influence you, such as guilt-tripping, emotional blackmail, or flattery. The key to recognizing manipulative behavior is to understand that their primary goal is to serve their own interests, often at the expense of your own comfort and well-being. They may use tactics like guilt-inducing statement. Imagine hearing, "If you really cared about me, you'd do this for me." Such statements are designed to make you feel guilty for not complying with their demands. Playing the victim. Manipulators might portray themselves as the victim to elicit sympathy and compliance, even when they're not genuinely in distress. Flattery and charm. They may shower you with excessive praise or charm to disarm you and make you more willing to comply with their requests. By being aware of these tactics, you can begin to identify manipulative behavior more clearly. The next step is learning how to handle it effectively. The fogging technique. One of the most effective techniques for dealing with manipulators is known as fogging. This strategy involves agreeing with the manipulator's perspective or comments to a degree, but without allowing their emotional pressure to influence your decisions. Here's how fogging works. Acknowledge the point. If a manipulator makes a request or statement, acknowledge it in a neutral way. For example, you might say, "I understand that you feel strongly about." Maintain your stance. Follow up by firmly stating your own position without being drawn into their emotional narrative. For instance, "However, I need to stick to my original plan." Avoid emotional engagement. Keep your responses calm and factual. Avoid reacting emotionally or getting defensive, as this can fuel further manipulation. Fogging allows you to acknowledge their perspective without compromising your own boundary. Setting and enforcing boundaries. Another crucial strategy for managing manipulators is setting clear boundaries and enforcing them decisively. Boundaries are essential for protecting your emotional space and ensuring that your needs are respected. To set and enforce boundaries effectively, identify your limits. Determine what behaviors or requests you are unwilling to tolerate. Be clear about your own limits and needs. Communicate clearly. When addressing a manipulative behavior, be direct and assertive. For example, "I am not comfortable with this request, and I need to say no." Stay consistent. Consistency is key in maintaining boundaries. If you give in once, it can encourage the manipulator to test your limits further. Stand firm in your decision. Be prepared for pushback. Manipulators often resist boundaries and may react with anger or increased pressure. Stay calm and reiterate your position without being drawn into a conflict. Setting clear boundaries protects your well-being and ensures that you are not being manipulated. Cultivating emotional resilience. Dealing with manipulators can be emotionally draining. It's important to cultivate resilience and maintain a healthy emotional state to protect yourself from their influence. Here are some ways to build emotional resilience. Self-awareness. Regularly check in with yourself to understand your feelings and reactions. This self-awareness can help you recognize when you're being manipulated and respond more effectively. Self-care. Engage in activities that nurture your well-being and provide you with emotional support. This might include hobbies, exercise, or spending time with supportive friends. Seek support. You find yourself struggling with a manipulative person, consider seeking guidance from a trusted friend or mental health professional. They can offer objective advice and support. Practice mindfulness. Techniques such as meditation or deep breathing exercises can help you stay grounded and centered, reducing the impact of manipulative behavior on your emotional state. Cultivating emotional resilience helps you maintain your composure and handle manipulative situations more effectively. In some cases, manipulators may be people you cannot easily avoid, such as family members or colleagues. In these situations, it's crucial to navigate the relationship with a balance of assertiveness and empathy. Maintain professionalism. In work settings, focus on professional interactions and avoid personal entanglements. Keep conversations centered on work-related topics. Use neutral language. When discussing difficult topics, use neutral and non-confrontational language. For example, I see where you're coming from. I need to approach this differently. Document interaction. In professional settings, keep a record of your interactions with manipulators to protect yourself if conflicts arise. This documentation can serve as a reference if you need to address any issues formally. Know when to walk away. In extreme cases, if a manipulative relationship becomes too harmful or toxic, it may be necessary to distance yourself or limit your interactions with the person. Your well-being should always be a priority. Navigating these complex situations requires a careful balance of professionalism, empathy, and self-protection. Manipulators are skilled at influencing and controlling those around them, but by understanding their tactics and employing effective strategies, you can protect yourself from their impact. The key lies in recognizing manipulative behavior, using techniques like fogging to neutralize their influence, setting clear, firm boundaries, cultivating emotional resilience, and navigating complex relationships with professionalism and empathy will further empower you to manage manipulative interactions effectively. Remember, your well-being and self-respect are paramount. By standing firm in your values and decisions, you can maintain control over your own life and avoid falling prey to those who seek to manipulate your emotions for their gain. In the dance of human relationships, understanding and responding to manipulation with clarity and confidence will ensure that you remain steadfast and true to yourself. In our fast-paced world, time is one of our most valuable assets, yet there are individuals, often termed as time vampires, who relentlessly drain this precious resource from us. These are the people who disrupt our focus, divert our attention, and encroach upon our productivity. They might be colleagues, friends, or even family members, perpetually seeking to capture your time and energy for trivial matters. In this comprehensive guide, we will explore how to recognize these time vampires, protect your time, and implement effective strategies to manage it better. We'll also delve into the philosophy of Stoicism, which offers profound insights into maintaining mental tranquility amidst these challenges. Identifying time vampires. Time vampires are not always malicious. They can be well-meaning individuals whose lack of awareness or respect for your time leads to interruptions. Recognizing these individuals is the first step in reclaiming your time. Constant interruptions. They frequently intrude on your work with trivial requests or conversations, breaking your concentration and flow. Unnecessary meeting. They schedule or drag out meetings with no clear agenda or purpose, consuming your productive hours. Excessive small talk. They engage in prolonged casual conversations that veer off topic, often derailing your focus and time management effort. Understanding these behaviors helps you set boundaries and protect your productivity. The Pomodoro Technique, a shield against distraction. One effective method to combat time vampires is the Pomodoro Technique, a time management system designed to enhance focus and productivity. How to implement the Pomodoro Technique. Set clear objectives. Define specific tasks you want to accomplish during each Pomodoro session. Work for 25 minutes. Dedicate uninterrupted time to your task. During this period, focus solely on the work at hand. Take a 5-minute break. After each session, take a short break to recharge. Use this time to stretch, breathe, or briefly step away from your work environment. Repeat and rest. After completing 4 Pomodoro sessions, take a longer break of 15 to 30 minutes. This helps maintain productivity and prevents burnout. This technique creates structured intervals for work and rest, reducing the impact of time vampires by fostering an environment of focused work. Setting boundaries. The art of saying no. Protecting your time often requires assertively setting boundaries. This can be challenging, especially when dealing with people close to you, but it is essential for maintaining your mental health and productivity. Strategies for setting boundaries. Be direct and polite. Clearly communicate your availability and limitations. For instance, I am currently working on a project and cannot engage in a lengthy conversation right now. Prioritize your time. Allocate specific times for meetings, social interactions, and personal tasks. Stick to these times to avoid overlap and interruption. Manage expectations. Set realistic expectations for others regarding your availability. Inform them in advance about times when you are not available for discussions or requests. Stoicism and mental tranquility. Stoic philosophy offers timeless wisdom on maintaining mental peace amidst external pressures and disturbances. According to Stoicism, inner peace comes from controlling our responses to external events, rather than the events themselves. Applying Stoic principles. Focus on what you can control. Recognize that you cannot control others' behavior, but can control how you respond to them. Emphasize your response over their action. Practice mindful awareness. Remain aware of your thoughts and emotions. When encountering a time vampire, observe your reactions without judgment and choose a measured response. Set internal boundaries. Cultivate resilience and internal boundaries to maintain your peace. Understand that not every request or interruption requires your attention. Building a productive environment. Creating an environment conducive to productivity involves more than managing interruption. Requires cultivating a space and routine that supports your goals. Steps to build a productive environment. Design your workspace. Organize your workspace to minimize distraction. Use tools and techniques that enhance your focus and efficiency. Create a routine. Establish a daily routine that aligns with your productivity peak. Plan high-focus tasks during your most productive. Foster supportive relationships. Surround yourself with people who respect your time and contribute positively to your goals. Build relationships that support mutual growth and understanding. Navigating the complexities of human relationships can be challenging, especially when faced with individuals who may drain our energy or test our emotional resilience. By applying Stoic principles and being mindful of our interaction, we can better manage these relationships, safeguard our well-being, and cultivate a more balanced and fulfilling. If you found these insights helpful and want to delve deeper into how to apply Stoic wisdom to various aspects of life, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're committed to bringing you more content that helps you navigate life's challenges, grace, and clarity. Hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell to stay updated with our latest video. Join our community of like-minded individuals dedicated to personal growth and mental well-being. Together, we can explore and embrace the art of living a balanced and meaningful life. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to having you with us on this journey.